Welcome to the party, pal. You're from the neighborhood Master Chaos, back with you for a very special daily dose of movie love. This is a special report, not a part of one of my big daily news dumps, as it were. We've got some breaking news, and I just wanted to give it the time and basically the space that it deserves. Now, of course, I'm talking about the Charisma Carpenter allegations when it comes to the toxic work environment that Joss Whedon fostered on the set of Buffy. I'm going to go into all the details in this video, so stay tuned to the end. I'm going to read all of the tweets, and we're going to hear from her co-stars as they give their opinion and their input as to the situation and the allegations. And guys, it looks like Joss Whedon's career is about to hit the skids. What am I talking about? Well, this all begins with Charisma Carpenter, and before we get into it, remember to drop a like on this video. You're from the neighborhood Master Chaos appreciates it. If you like Hollywood, if you like movies, this is the ultimate movie fan and TV fans variety channel. Okay, let's get into the initial tweet that started it all off. Okay, settle in, my friend. This is a long one, but this is going to be really interesting, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. By the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know as of the recording of this video. Okay, let's do it. This is from Ms. Carpenter's tweet. For nearly 2 decades, I have held my tongue and even made excuses for certain events that traumatize me to this day. That's awful to hear. Joss Whedon abused his power on numerous occasions while working together on the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. That's right, because she carried over with Boreanaz. While he found his misconduct amusing, it only served to intensify my performance anxiety, disempower me, and alienate me from my peers. Ugh. The disturbing incidents triggered a chronic physical condition from which I still suffer. It is with a beating heavy heart that I say I coped in isolation and at times destructively. Oh man, that's awful. Oh, that hurts me. I loved her on the show. She was amazing. So I always wonder what happened to her career-wise. Last summer, when Ray Fisher publicly accused Joss of abusive and unprofessional behavior toward the cast and crew during reshoots on the Justice League set in 2017, it gutted me. Joss has a history of being casually cruel. He has created hostile and toxic work environments since his early career. I know because I experienced it firsthand repeatedly. Okay, here we go. Like his ongoing passive-aggressive threats to fire me, which wreaks havoc on a young actor's self-esteem. Absolutely. And callously calling me fat to colleagues when I was 4 months pregnant, weighing 126 pounds. He was mean and biting, disparaging about others openly, and often played favorites, pitting people against one another to compete and vie for his attention and approval. He called me in for a sit-down meeting to interrogate and berate me regarding a rosary tattoo I got to help me feel more spiritually grounded in an increasingly volatile work climate that affected me physically. Now, accusing, making somebody feel bad about their religion is number one a no-no. Of course, that is one of the great American freedoms. Joss intentionally refused multiple calls from my agents, making it impossible to connect with him to tell him the news that I was pregnant. Finally, once Joss was appraised of the situation, he requested a meeting with me. In that closed-door meeting, he asked me if I was going to keep it. What? Oh my God, that's bad. Oh, that's awful. And manipulatively weaponized my womanhood and faith against me. He proceeded to attack my character, mocked my religious beliefs, and accused me of sabotaging the show. And then, who gives a shit about the show? And then unceremoniously fired me the following season once I gave birth. At 6 months pregnant, I was asked to report to work at 1 a.m. after my doctor recommended shortening my work hours due to the long and physically demanding days and the emotional stress of having to defend my needs as a working pregnant woman. I began to experience Braxton Hicks contractions. Not mansplaining, but for those of you who don't know, Braxton Hicks is when a woman experiences false contractions that feel like you're going into labor, but you're not. So it's sort of like false contractions. The only reason I know that is because I'm a father of 2 children. Luckily, my wife never had those, which is, but it's scary if that happens. It was clear to me the 1 a.m. call was retaliatory. Okay, that's one of 2. Let's get to the second one. Crazy shit, right? God damn. She goes on to write, back then I felt powerless and alone, with no other option. I swallowed the mistreatment and carried on. After all, I had a baby on the way and I was the primary breadwinner of my growing family. Unfortunately, all this was happening during one of the most wonderful time in new motherhood. Just a little bit of typo there. We'll gloss over it. All that promise and joy sucked right out, and Joss was the vampire. I was gonna make a joke about how, oh my god, it's true. It's been revealed Joss Whedon is a vampire, but it's bad taste. So, no. Let's continue. Despite the harassment, a part of me still sought his validation. I made excuses for his behavior and repressed my own pain. I have even stated publicly at conventions that I'd work with him again. Only recently, after years of therapy and a wake-up call from the Time's Up movement, do I understand the complexities of this demoralized thinking. It is impossible to understand the psyche without enduring the abuse. That's very true. I can imagine how that messes someone up. Our society and industry vilify the victims and glorify the abusers for their accomplishments. True. The onus is on the abused, with an expectation to accept and adapt to be employable. No accountability on the transgressor who sails on unscathed, unrepentant, remorseless. These memories and more have weighed on my soul like bricks for nearly half of my life. I wish I said something sooner. I wish I had the composure and courage all those years ago, but I muted myself in shame and conditioned silence. Ugh. With tears welling, I feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility to Ray and others for remaining private about my experience with Joss and the suffering it has caused me. It is abundantly evident that Joss has persisted in his harmful actions, continuing to create wreckage in his wake. My hope now, by finally coming forward about these experiences, is to create space for the healing of others who I know have experienced similar serialized abuses of power. Recently, I participated in Warner Media's Justice League investigation because I believe Ray to be a person of integrity who is telling the truth. His firing a cyborg in The Flash was the last straw for me. Although I am not shocked, I am deeply pained by it. It troubles and saddens me that in 2021, professionals still have to choose between whistleblowing in the workplace and job security. Here she ends with, it has taken me so long to muster the courage to make this statement publicly. The gravity of it is not lost on me. As a single mother whose family's livelihood is dependent on my craft, I'm scared. Despite my fear about its impact on my future, I can no longer remain silent. This is overdue and necessary. It is time. There's really nothing I can say to put it into any other terms than what she's just said. This is pretty damning evidence. And it's not over yet. We're not done yet. This has been Charisma's point of view. The good news is Charisma's not alone. She's had some people come out in her defense. Let's take a look at that right quick. Before we get to that, my dude, I just want to make sure that you're subscribed. If you like movies, if you like TV, if you like talking Hollywood news, Master Chaos TV is the place to be. This is the movie fan and the TV fans' #1 variety channel here on YouTube. If you like me to break the news, I break it. I break it. And I'm here breaking it every day. Master Chaos comes at you daily with a daily dose of movie love, sometimes twice daily. So please, do me a favor, subscribe, hit the bell, give me a thumbs up. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you will be as well. It would be such an honor to consider you part of the Chaos crew. Okay, back to the story. This article on People.com by Jody Guglielmi, and I'm sorry if I butchered that name, reads, Sarah Michelle Gellar speaks out after Buffy's Charisma Carpenter accuses Joss Whedon of abuse. Buffy the Vampire Slayer stars are speaking out in the wake of allegations against the series creator Joss Whedon. On Wednesday, Charisma Carpenter publicly accused Whedon of abusing his power and creating a hostile and toxic work environment on the set of Buffy and its spin-off Angel. They say Angels, that's a small typo. When contacted by People, reps for Whedon did not have a comment at this time. I'm sure they're spinning. Holy shit, what do we do? What do we say? Following the allegations, Sarah Michelle Gellar, who starred as the titular teen hero Buffy Summers, issued a statement on Instagram. Let me show you that statement from the horse's mouth, for lack of a better word. Sarah writes, while I am proud to have my name associated with Buffy Summers, I don't want to be forever associated with the name Joss Whedon. Whoa! Cutting ties! Damn, now you know it's for reals. Now you know it's for reals. Oh, wow. I am more focused on raising my family and surviving a pandemic currently, so I will not be making any further statements at this time. But I stand with all survivors of abuse and am proud of them for speaking out. Okay, she didn't 100% say, yeah, it happened, but would she really be in on it? Think about it. I mean, if Whedon is talking to Charisma behind closed doors about, hey, you should get an abortion and shit like that, I'm pretty sure he's not telling that to Sarah Michelle Gellar and the rest of the cast. But I see that she 100% knows something's up, because she doesn't want to be associated with Joss Whedon anymore. That's big, but she's not the only one speaking out. Amber Benson, who played recurring character Tara McCauley on Buffy, tweeted her support for Carpenter, praising the actress for speaking her truth. Buffy, this is what she says, Buffy was a toxic environment, and it starts at the top. Ooh. At All Charisma is speaking truth, and I support her 100%. There was a lot of damage done during that time. Wow, and many of us are still processing it 20 plus years later. Whoa, man. That's 3 for 3. That's 3 for 3, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Buffy cast member Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Buffy's sister, had this to say after reposting Sarah Michelle Gellar's statement. Thank you, Sarah M. Gellar, for saying this. I am brave enough now as a 35-year-old woman to repost this because this must be known. As a teenager, whoa, with his not appropriate behavior, very not appropriate. Wow, wow, wow. Hold on. That's a whole other can of beans. If Mr. Whedon is being accused of inappropriate behavior towards a minor, if I were anybody on Joss Whedon's PR team, I'd be calling to end that relationship right quick. There is one more cast member who is speaking out, and we'll go to that one right now. Claire Kramer writes, for what it's worth, I believe and stand with Charisma Carpenter, Ray Fisher, and Amber Benson, and others who have the strength to come forward with their truth. A lot of this industry needs a reset. Wow. She doesn't say if she's had any personal experience, but she believes it. And right here at the bottom, Charisma replies, it's worth a lot. Lastly, the guy who kicked it all off, Ray Fisher, replies, Charisma Carpenter is one of the bravest people I know. I am forever grateful for her courage and for her lending her voice to the Justice League investigation. Read her truth, share her truth, protect her at all costs. It is time. Accountability is greater than entertainment. Wow, that's where the story lays at the moment. If there are any further developments, if any other celebrities or any of the cast members, I should say, come out in defense of Charisma Carpenter with, more evidence or further proof of said toxic environment or abuses, I'll be reporting that to you as well. Remember, you can always count on your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos to bring you the breaking Hollywood news. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, give me a thumbs up before you leave. While you're at it, I've got a video you just might like, and you'll find it in the card that is popping up on your screen at the moment. For now, my friend, I'm going to bid you adieu. Your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos loves you very much. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you will be as well. For now, I remain to be continued.